And good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Cumberland County Board of Commissioners meeting. This is the November the 7th, 2022, and we've got quite an agenda. Well, maybe not, but anyway. We do have some special guests here, and I'll introduce them as they are speaking. But I will ask Commissioner Evans to give us the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. That's your day.
Good morning. Would you bow your heads with me, please? Dear Lord, our Heavenly Father, once again we come to you with bowed our head and stretched our arms. We want to say thank you for everything that you have done to make us who we are today and those that are serving the people in thy name, Lord. We thank you for your many blessings. We ask that you continue to bless this county and individuals that oversee the governmental business here in this area, Lord. We just want to say we love you. In Jesus Christ, our Lord, we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's good.
Okay,
Scooter,
I'm
you there?
here. I'm here.
I'm sorry, we can't have this excess laughing around me today.
I'd like to call on our county manager to do some introductions of some of our new employees.
Yes, sir.
Ms.
Mr.
Cannon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. We have been working to fill some key leadership team positions. We're pleased today to share two new individuals to our team. And I'm going to ask Brian Haney, Assistant County Manager, who's been serving temporarily as our HR Director, to introduce our two new team members.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So as Amy said, I'm here this morning to introduce two new Cumberland County employees who have recently started in critical positions. First, I want to introduce Nikisha Waring, who started on October 10th as the county's first Chief Diversity Officer. This position, as you recall, was created following the board's adoption of a resolution against racial injustice in June of 2020, the creation of a Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee made up of county staff, and the completion of a DEI strategic plan in December 2021, the first goal of which was to hire a Chief Diversity Officer. Ms. Waring comes to Cumberland County after retiring from the military in November 2020 after 22 years at Fort Bragg. And during her last 4 years with the military, she served as an equal opportunity advisor, planning, directing, implementing, and monitoring EEO programs and advising senior leadership on issues affecting the workforce. Following her military career, she served as an equal employment opportunity specialist at the Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command in Norfolk, Virginia. And she has a Master's of Science in Organizational Leadership and holds a number of certifications related to EEO training, leadership, and mediation. I want to welcome Ms. Waring to Cumberland County and invite her to share a few words with you.
Welcome, Ms. Waring.
Good morning, everyone, and I'd just like to say thank you so much. I am very humbled to have this opportunity to be able to serve the Cumberland County employees and the citizens. I've been on board almost 30 days, and it has been awesome. Everyone has been very welcoming and supportive of everything, and I'd just like to say that we're on the DEI journey together.
All right. And welcome, and no better time to come. We had our Veterans Day Parade this weekend, so you're a veteran. Welcome to Cumberland County. Welcome to our family. And if you want to come around and shake everybody's hand, 'cause I don't know if you've met everybody yet. You better.
Welcome.
All right, Next, I want to introduce someone who I am especially and somewhat selfishly excited to have joining our team. Dominique Hall began working as Cumberland County's new Human Resources Director on October 24th and comes to us from Albany, Georgia, where she was the Human Resources Director for Dougherty County since August 2016. Prior to that, she served in several other roles in the Human Resources Department, including as a Human Resources Project Manager. She has also been an adjunct instructor of accounting with Albany Technical College since 2010. She holds a bachelor's degree in accounting and a Master of Business Administration from Georgia Southwestern State University and a professional in human resources or PHR certification from the Human Resources Certification Institute. She was involved in a number of projects in her previous organization that are very relevant to what we're going through currently, including the recent completion and implementation of a compensation study. And since starting with Cumberland County, she has hit the ground running, getting involved with our ongoing classification and compensation study, the completion of which is a priority in the current year's budget. So I want to welcome Ms. Hall to Cumberland County and invite her to say a few words as well.
Good morning, and thank you so much. I'm passionate about employees. I believe investing in employees, the biggest return on investment in our community, directly impacting our community. Happy employees perform better and provide better service, a greater service to our community. So I'm excited to be here and work with you all and exhibit the core values of pride, which Cumberland County stands by. But most importantly, I love the motto, "Together we can." So I look forward to working with each of you. Thank you.
Welcome, Ms. Hall.
I love it. I love it. Welcome, I need a job.
That's what I said. I said he wasn't joking. We're going to deviate from the agenda for just a moment. We do have Judge Jim Ammons here with us today. You quick clap. You like that. Come on up to the podium. On Friday, I was in Chapel Hill, and if this board will remember, Attorney Sylvia Allen, who was in this community, did civil rights for a number of years, we actually hung a portrait of her in the old courthouse. So on Friday, and some of this goes to Judge Ammons, Attorney Sylvia Allen's portrait was hung in the UNC Law School as the first African-American graduate of UNC Law School. And I thought it was fitting that when we have those kind of people from Cumberland County being honored, if other folk can honor our people, we need to at least honor our own. So I asked Judge Ammons this weekend if he'd just come and give just a few words. I did tell him a few words. Mike, I understand this now when he's on the bench and he looks down at us and he can tell us what to do. But anyway, so this is my day.
My day's coming.
Your day's coming.
Yeah, enjoy it, man.
Oh, he meant no harm, sir.
Judge Jim Ammons is our chief resident Superior Court judge here in Cumberland County. Judge Ammons, welcome.
Thank you,
and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Commissioner Adams. I've got just a piece of business I need to take care of. As you know from reading the paper, I've recently issued a writ of mandamus to the City Council. So I have one for y'all today. I have a writ of mandamus that prohibits y'all from accepting Amy Cannon's resignation.
Second. There's a second. All those in favor? That's unanimous.
And I can promise you, I did have ex parte conversation before I did this. All of you remember Judge Maurice Braswell, World War II POW, senior resident Superior Court judge, lawyer, teacher, and soldier. Well, he died in January 2017, and I, along with several other people, approached the board about renaming this courthouse. And the board very wisely approved the renaming, and we had a ceremony September 20th, 2017, in which this courthouse was renamed for Judge Braswell. The same day, we honored Sylvia Allen by hanging her portrait in the old historic courthouse. Sylvia X. Menes Allen was born in Havana, Cuba in July of 1923 and spent her childhood in Jamaica. She moved to Philadelphia when she was 12. She married Dr. Gladstone Wesley Allen. In the 1940s, they moved to Fayetteville and raised a family of 8 children. After the birth of her 6th child, she went to the UNC Law School and talked to Dean Brandis, and he admitted her the night that he met her. She commuted from Fayetteville for many years, and in 1962, she became the first African-American female law graduate from UNC. Later that year, she passed the bar, a year in which 52% of the graduates of UNC failed the bar. She set up a general practice here in downtown Fayetteville. She was the only female attorney in Fayetteville for at least a year. In 1969, she became the district's first woman and first African-American to be an assistant district attorney. She later went on to be an attorney general. The day that we did the video, Sally produced, the day we did the portrait hanging, Sally produced a video. And as with most videos, that video went out on the internet and went viral. That was 2017. Now, that's where 2 UNC law students or law alumni come in. Scott Peeler and Diana Florence, who are married to each other. They live in New York City. Scott graduated in 1997 from the UNC School of Law, and Diana in 1995. They had been looking for a person to honor. They had already decided to set up a scholarship at Carolina Law School, and they saw that video. They had heard Sylvia's name. They went on the internet and searched it and found that video. They got in touch with me. I got them in touch with the family. They got in touch with the law school, and they provided funds for this scholarship. And as Glenn said, they unveiled the portrait. They wanted to make sure that not only was there money for the scholarship, but they wanted to make sure there was money for a portrait. And the portrait is beautiful. I'll show it to you in just a minute. Let me just say one more thing about Sylvia. Sylvia was often the voice for folks who had no other voice. She was a caring person with a great sense of justice and was tenacious in pursuing fairness and equality for everyone. As an assistant district attorney, she often refused to prosecute vagrancy, loitering, and panhandling charges that almost always were brought against the poor and minorities. I grew up in her household. I know Charles Evans did too. We were friends with her children, and that was a very warm and loving place to learn about life. I was fortunate to be the one, along with a couple others, to unveil the portrait last Friday. And I said at that time that it's my hope that future generations of law students will see her portrait, become inspired to learn more about her trailblazing career, and dedicate themselves to being tenacious advocates for the rule of law. Now, I understand I got some video here, or how do I start that? I guess I should have started that before now.
That's fine.
This is the portrait that hangs in the courthouse, and I advance it with this. Yes, sir. Okay. This is, was done by Bruce Dawes from a portrait that the family had. For some reason, they didn't have a lot of photographs of her. And in fact, this is Sylvia in 1972. Her daughter Catherine is right there on the far left. The guy with the very stylish striped shirt there, he got into a lot of trouble and later became the senior resident Supreme Court judge here in Cumberland County. That's Sylvia in the middle. And these are Teen Democrats. We were at a rally. You can see a Jim Hunt poster over there for Lieutenant Governor. It tells you how long ago that was. And a Skipper Bowles poster, too. This is when Sylvia ran for the House. This is the video that Sally produced that got the whole ball started. I like to think of this as serendipity. You know, if we hadn't named the courthouse for Judge Braswell, we probably wouldn't have hung Sylvia's portrait. We wouldn't have made the video. The folks wouldn't have seen it, and her portrait wouldn't be at the UNC Law School now. This is a photograph that was taken the day we hung the photograph. This is Sylvia's daughter, Liz, and her 2 children and her husband, and 2 of our county commissioners right there. Jeanette Council is featured very much in that video, talking about her remembrances of Sylvia Allen also. This is from the Carolina Law Review, talking about how they were going to honor her and inviting folks to participate in it. This is Scott and Diana. I got to tell you that I've gotten to know them very well over the last couple of weeks. They came to Fayetteville at my request last week, and I took them to the old courthouse and spent the day with them here in town. They went back to the UNC Law School. Glenn can attest to this. They talked very favorably about Fayetteville, very favorably. This is the portrait that I wanted to bring my copy today, that now hangs in the UNC Law School and will inspire people for generations. They had a few family photographs. The artist actually hired a model, and the model set for this to get the arms and the legs and her physique. And then she did the photograph, did the face from this photograph and several others. I can tell you that the family was ecstatic about the photograph. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I want to thank Commissioner Adams for allowing me to come here. I know her photograph hangs in our courthouse. We were first, but every time, she deserves to be mentioned, every time. I'd be glad to answer any questions. Otherwise, thank you very much for this opportunity.
And I know that Commissioner Evans had a few comments that he wanted to make. He grew up in that home with Sylvia Allen and Commissioner Council.
Let me mention, I've also brought copies of the program from 2017 that also contains a bit a story about Sylvia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, Sylvia X. Allen, a lady of strength, courage, and determination. She referred to me as her 9th child, and she treated me as such too. I had the privilege of working with her on her first campaign for judge, when she was running against Charles Lee Guy. And I learned a lot about responsibility to serving others from this lady. And knowing that Commissioner Council and her involvement in relationship with attorney Sylvia Allen, I see where she gets her stick to it and her passion for serving people. Miss Allen was a fantastic lady. She loved this community. She loved children. And when she said something, she meant exactly what she said. I can remember when she was running for judge, she had a Winnebago right there on Gillespie Street. And we were out handing out her cars and whatnot. So I came in, and she had bought chicken for everybody. So you know I was down for that. And so I grabbed my box, and she said, no, don't eat that. Don't eat that. Because I went straight to the slaw. It's been sitting in the sun too long. Don't eat that, you'll be sick. But she was a very caring lady and a great asset to this community. And Judge, thank you. We do have something in common there. We have our love for Miss Allen and her family, and also our spirit of working for our community. Thank you so much, and same to you, Dr. Council. Thank you.
You have anything you want to say, Commissioner Council, or anyone else?
That took me back a long time, because I was in school with some of her children, with a couple of her children, and there are not enough superlatives to say about this woman and her leadership for this community. She was a jewel. Don't cross her, though.
Oh, absolutely.
She would get you.
Yes. Yes.
And it would be precise, quick, and in a hurry. And when she finished, you would know how she felt. She also followed all of her children. I don't remember the 8th one, the 9th, but the last one.
Becky.
Becky, that's right. I don't remember her, but I was in the classes with a lot of her older children. Thank you so much for what you have done and how you have added to the visible history of Cumberland County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Emmons. I'll tell you, it's always honor to be able to recognize our citizens as they are recognized throughout the state. So anybody that has any accolades for anybody, just let us know, because we want to make sure that our citizens get their due. With that, let me take a moment, and I want to welcome Ms. Renee Pascal this morning. How you doing? She's over there, who's been hired as our interim county manager, effective December the 1st, 2022. Ms. Pascal's here this morning to begin working with County Manager Amy Cannon on the transition as we move forward. Ms. Pascal previously served as county manager in Chatham County, where she worked for 25 years. After retiring from Chatham County, she worked part-time as Harnett County's budget director from February 2019 until June 2021, where she built new capital and operating budget processes. She holds a master's of public administration from some little small school in Chapel Hill called the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. We understand these people who come from NC State, the flagship university. We're excited to welcome Ms. Pascal to Cumberland County this morning, and we really do appreciate your willingness to work with the county during this transition as we prepare to hire a new county manager. I don't know if you want to have a couple of words this morning.
Just a couple of words, because I know that you have a full agenda. I am delighted to be here, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Following Ms. Cannon is going to be a challenge, but I will do my best to keep the good things that she's built continuing. And I look forward to being part of the team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and welcome this morning. All right, with that, we're going to do a couple of recognitions. Call for Ms. Suzanne Pate. Coming from one of my favorite departments. Come right around. And Ms. Pate is retiring from the library. And, you know, we have one of the flagship libraries in the state of North Carolina. It's because of you and the employees who work there that do such a wonderful job. So this is presented to Suzanne Pate from the library in recognition of outstanding service to the citizens of Cumberland County from June 9th, 1977 to July 31st, 2022, from the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners, November the 7th, 2022.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's been a
Here you
great
go.
honor. I just want to say it's been a privilege to serve the people of Cumberland County, and I will always, whatever I do, remember it very fondly. There's great people in this county, and I appreciate all of them so much for the good memories. Thank you.
He yanked her.
A little bit.
No, it wasn't a little bit, bro.
My library people.
Does she know where the health department is?
You don't get work for comp, she's gone.
Thank you so much.
Stay right here, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Ms. Frida Thompson. Now, this really gets scary because I remember when Frida was born, her mother and my sister were the best of friends throughout their lifetime. So it is indeed an honor for me to present this to Frida Thompson, Internal Services, in recognition of outstanding services to the citizens of Cumberland County, January 12, 1993 to July 31st, 2022, from the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners, this November the 7th, 2022. Thank you. You want to say a couple?
Yes, I would like to say it's been a pleasure serving Cumberland County. I've been here for like 30 years, and I enjoyed my time here. So, thanks, y'all.
Go this next time, yes,
So that makes Glenn about 75. Congratulations, young man. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. Congratulations.
And this last award is going to be presented by Vice Chairwoman Stewart, as she sits on the Social Services Board.
If I could have Monica Fuller. She's not here. Okay. Well, I'm going to read it anyway, since I don't get to do this. In recognition of outstanding service to the citizens of Cumberland County from May 13, 1996 to July 31st, 2022, from the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners. Thank you, Monica.
All right, I'll call on Countyman Amy Cannon. If there's any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
If not, I will ask for approval of the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
That takes us to the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Yes.
All right, which one?
I'm gonna put them all together, but it'll be one question. Items 2K, L, M, and O.
Wait a minute. K through what? Just go down to the,
K, L, M, N, O, P, skip, R, S, T, U.
skip RS.
Skip Q and T.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I can't do it with that.
It's 10 out of the 13.
I got you. So with that, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
And that takes us to Commissioner Keefe.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Adams. These all can be talked about together. There were 13 items on the sale of surplus property. 10 of them were going to the same person. And I was just curious on if there's a backstory behind that and whether or not these are a company that's going into these residential areas. So without saying the name of the person, was there any particular background information about why 10 out of the 13 all went to the same person?
She is an individual that's been buying these surplus properties for as long time. She's probably bought a third of all the surplus properties we've sold since it's what she does.
How is that advertised, these advertised?
In the newspaper and on our website.
Okay, all right.
And these were all at less than the tax value.
Yes.
Because the tax value on all these for more than 10 years has been zero. They've been off the books.
Well, there's a tax value, and many of them are coming in at less than a third, which is something I've been talking about for a couple years. That being said, Mr. Chairman.
Wait a minute, I think Commissioner Booth has a comment.
Just, she's not behind any of her third of
No.
our properties, is she? Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Keefe.
And that's scared out of all the years. This is not something, she's been doing this for years.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, Commissioner, I make a motion to approve items 2, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, and U.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
All righty. That takes us to the item of business, which is the consideration of the 2023 regular meeting dates for the county commissioners. Madam Manager.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As is customary, we present the calendar of the board meetings for your review and approval. There are 3 dates where county holidays actually fall on your Monday morning meetings. And so let me let you know what those are. The New Year's holiday is Monday, January 2nd, so that we are projecting having your meeting on Tuesday, January the 3rd. In January, we'll be celebrating the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday on Monday, January 16th, and that would move your board meeting to Tuesday evening, January 17th. Fast forward to Labor Day in September. The holiday is celebrated on Monday, September the 4th, and as is customary, we would move that morning meeting to Tuesday, September the 5th. One item for the board to consider with 2 new commissioners coming on our board is the Essentials of County Government course will be held on Thursday, January 12th and Friday the 13th. That would be the same date that the board holds our agenda session. And so one of our recommendations, so the 2 new commissioners, if they choose, would like to attend that course, is that we move the agenda session to Tuesday, January the 10th.
Everybody get those dates? Is everybody fine with those dates? If so, I'll take a motion to approve with those changes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
You don't really care, huh? That takes us to the consideration of appointment to the TDA, the Tourism Development Board. Madam Manager.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to ask the county attorney to present this item, please.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
The memo, and this came up at the last TDA meeting just this last month. And we now down to the last appointed member's term will expire November 30th. Everyone else is a holdover. And there's, with the county commissioner is a member, there's going to be some lack of continuity when she leaves. We have one TDA member who stopped attending meetings, I think in July of last year, because he went out of the hotel motel business. And the board has asked you to consider the appointments of the recommendations they've made. The ones that they are recommending are all eligible, except if you look, Mr. Tandon has been serving for a long time as a representative of hotels, I guess over 100 rooms. He's asked to be reappointed now. I'm looking at the wrong one. He was representing hotels under 100, but now they're wanting to ask if you will consider appointing him to represent hotels over 100. That would be, the recommendations that they are making are for hotels under 100, and Kit Trivedi, who has never been on the board, and he applied for consideration, and they have not found what they consider to be a qualified nominee for the second position in that under 100 rooms category. For the over 100 rooms, they're asking for Nanesh Mehta and Vivek Tandon to shift from being under 100 to over 100. And the public member not affiliated with travel tourism is Terry Thomas. Although she has been holding over for a few years, but this would be her second term appointment. She would still be eligible under the board's rules. So that would be those 1, 2, 3, 4 positions they're asking you to appoint.
Are there any questions or comments? Commissioner Keefe.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Again, this is another one that has been talked about at length, but the current situation that we are in right now is one of the 7 spots that controls upwards in the neighborhood of the local occupancy tax of $6 million a year is our county manager, who is going to be leaving. The other is the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, or the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, that quite frankly has had about 6 of them in the last 5 years. There has been no continuity in there. Mr. Moorfield has said to us in the past that just because the a person does not have to own hotels to represent the hotels. The bottom line is, our statute is a train wreck, and we should be changing it, but we've been talking about it, and nothing's being done. It is hurting the community, it is hurting our ability to invest in tourism, and we really should be looking at this. There's nothing we can do about the statute today, there's nothing we can do about the board makeup, but to go on public record, it's not a very good board makeup that does not include all aspects of tourism in Cumberland County. Thank you.
You're welcome. My question, and I do agree, and we've had this conversation about the statute and our local delegation in it. So on the county manager spot, we don't have a county manager spot?
Well, the interim county manager
Right.
would step in, but I think the issue they're seeing is the Chamber of Commerce has not had anyone attend since April. They've had a vacant position
I got
since
that.
July of last year, and now the county manager, it's, you know, they meet quarterly, so it's by the time, you know.
So what would be the full makeup of the board, is what I'm
The
saying?
full makeup of the board are 2 members appointed by the Board of Commissioners representing hotels under 100 rooms.
Okay.
2 members appointed by the Board of Commissioners representing hotels with more than 100 rooms. A member of the general public not affiliated with the tourism ministry. And then the ex officio members, but they're voting members, are the county manager and the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce.
The city?
The Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
CEO,
Okay.
the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce.
That's crazy.
And that is the board prescribed by the statute.
Okay, I got you. All right, so we've had consideration of the appointment. Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Is there a second? Been moved and second. All those in favor?
Voting in favor, Commissioners Lancaster, Council Stewart, Chairman Evans, Chairman Adams, Commissioner Evans, and Commissioner Booth. Voting in opposition, Commissioner Keefe.
And Commissioner Keefe, I do agree with you, and I think as we get, I know we're going to have some new members of the delegation. We ought to have that as a discussion as we move forward, and that'll be the next chairman. All right, that would take.
And Mr. Chairman, my recommendation was that these also be set up to get them back into staggered system. So my recommendation was that you appoint Mr. Pavan Patel for a shortened term of only 1 year as the representative of the 100, since he's the only member whose term has not expired, and will give the board time to seek other applicants. So this would get them back. There's supposed to be 3 appointed at one time and 2 appointed at another time, and appointing them all at the same time creates more.
That's what, that was,
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman?
wait a minute. Commissioner Council, did you have?
I'm sorry.
Okay, Commissioner Keefe.
So, since we're on this subject, what is the protocol and the process if this board wished to make a change to the statute? I understand it has to go through our local delegation, but what is the protocol to get that in motion?
Well, the board would adopt a resolution, and actually, the board did this, I think, in 2016 or 17. We actually submitted a statute to our local delegation, and we were told that it would not get any traction.
Oh, I did have a question.
Commissioner Council. Are you finished, Commissioner Keefe?
Well, I asked what the,
But that
What-
is the
what would-
process, to adopt a resolution and submit the requested language.
okay.
Commissioner Council.
Could we consider other statutes at the same time? Because I remember some, I can't remember. But to have those submitted to be changed, those that need to be changed, and we could look at it. But no later than the middle of this upcoming year?
That's fine. I mean, I think we can put that on an agenda and move it forward. We don't need to have a vote on it today. If any commissioner wants to put that on and bring it forth for a resolution that we push forth to the delegation. I think this is the short one. I'm not sure whether they're going to take anything up in this, but especially in the long term, yes. I think so. Commissioner Booth.
Okay.
Yeah, my question is, when, about 2 years ago, I was told that everything was caught up and there was somebody that was watching when either people left, died, quit, resigned, or whatever. And here that we have another one that's been sitting vacant for 1.5 years. Is there anybody that's supposed to, like, let us know when half of the board dies or leaves or something?
But that wasn't our appointment. The one that was vacant for a year was the chamber, whoever the president of the chamber.
No, one of the hoteliers,
Oh, okay. I didn't know he had come on.
yeah.
It actually, it was brought to, the last time this was brought to the board was
Oh,
in
we sent
August
it
of
back.
2019. And so, yeah, it's
3 years. 3.5 years.
it's been a while.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, just so that there's no question about the, I mean, the recommended motion, so that the clerk, we have that correct, is that Anit Trivetta and Nanesh Mehta will be appointed to 3-year terms commencing December 1st, 2022. And then Vivek Tandon and Terry Thomas will be appointed to, let's say 2-year terms commencing December 1st, 2022, so that theirs would end November 30th, 2024. Is that satisfactory?
That's correct. That's the motion. That was what was consideration for, that you did for the appointment to the
So that
TDA.
gives the board the time, you know,
Yes.
you need to immediately start looking for that other vacant appointment, and it gives you time to work with the statute, trying to get some changes made. Thank you.
All right. And we'll move to the designation of the voting delegate to the State Legislative Goals Conference.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman and board members, the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners is holding the Legislative Goals Conference next week. Actually, the voting takes place on Thursday and Friday, November 17th and 18th. And so we're asking the board to designate a voting delegate to represent Cumberland County at that conference.
And this is one where Commissioner Stewart was going to be unavailable, so if I don't know if anybody else was interested. I know that Commissioner Evans had been active at the State Association, so if I would nominate the voting delegate to be Commissioner Evans.
Second.
Can you do that in a month?
It's been moved and second. All those in favor?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can he do that in a month? Be a voting delegate for,
It's just 2 days next week.
and that's it?
Yeah. So let's let it go.
I thought it was an annual thing.
No,
Okay.
no, you have to end up, this is just next week.
Then I will be temporary commissioner.
All those in favor? That's unanimous. That will
Thank
take
you,
us,
Board.
thank you for willing to serve. That takes us to approval of appointment of the deputy clerk. I made a man last month when I went, so good luck. Approval of the appointment of the deputy clerk as acting clerk.
Oh, I gotta go clean up again.
Madam Manager? Oh,
Mr. Chairman, this is just to keep our record straight. The clerk has the authority to appoint an acting clerk in her absence. She is not going to, even though her retirement is effective December 1st, but there's going to be a few days, I don't know if she has those dates yet, that she will not be in office in November. So she asked to appoint, but the board has to approve this. She asked for the board to approve her appointment of the current deputy clerk as her acting clerk, as the acting clerk until December 1st for those days, and she will notify the board by email when those days would be.
That's my motion.
is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
And that will take us to nominations, and I'll call on Vice Chairwoman Stewart for nominations.
Thank you, Chairman. Local Emergency Planning Committee has 3 vacancies. They recommend Lou Cherry to serve an unexpired term as Print and Media Broadcast Representative, Donna Goodwin as Operators of Facility Representative, and Andrew McLean as Community Group Representative.
All right. Any other nominations? That'll take us to the Library Board of Trustees.
The Library Board of Trustees recommends Anna McRae and Gloria Nelson.
And that takes us to the Transportation Advisory Board, which has 4 vacancies.
The Transportation Advisory Board recommends Matthew Fowler as Workforce Development Director or designee, Sheila O'Kelly as Transit User, Antoinette Wiggins as Dialysis Center Representative, and Alinda Bailey as Emergency Medical Service Representative.
Okay, thank you. That takes us through our nominations. And let me thank Commissioner Keefe, because I tell you what, it's a good thing y'all keep us all in order. And so This is going to be the last public meeting for our county manager, right?
No, sir.
You'll be here in
I'm going to
December?
be here through November 30th.
Oh, okay, well, I was getting rid of you, see? So I got you got one more.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe you're wrong. Oh, now he done got me. I don't know about the clerk. You have, is this your last meeting? This is your last meeting. He threw you in there too, so I'm not saying he's trying
You're
to get
stuck
rid
with
of
me
you
through
early.
November 30th.
But Candace White has been, since I've been on this board, has been the clerk and has kept us all in line and kept everything in order. And I want to personally thank you for what you've done for this county. You worked at the city, you came over from the city to the county, came to the better half out here for the citizens of the entire county. Instead of just a little bit, you wanted to do all the citizens, and I do understand that. And so, you know, it is bittersweet. You're going to be leaving, but I think that, as I tell everybody, there's a season for everybody, and the season changes. And well, you can't tell it by November today with 83 degrees. But your season is changing, and we wish you all the best. I know some of Commissioner Keith served with you a lot longer, so I'm going to give them an opportunity, and any other board member that want to say anything, and then I'll give you an opportunity.
So, Candace, I have had the opportunity to serve with four different clerks. Actually, one left right after I got here, so I didn't know it was me. But she actually served with my father, so maybe she thought I would be as kind as him. But Candace, you will be missed dearly. I will tell you, I appreciate your stick-to-itiveness, your attention to detail, which I like, your documentation that you do. And I think if you leave here, I want you to leave with the thought that you certainly left Cumberland County in a better spot than when you came, and your work is appreciated very much. Thank you very much for all your service, not only to us, but to those other folks too. Thank you.
We appreciate you. I know you don't want anyone to say one word, one syllable, but I preceded Commissioner Keith and served on the committee that selected you, if I remember correctly. And you have always been a cut above excellence. And that I appreciate, because I am quite naturally a cut below. But thank you so much for being sensitive and caring, and for attending to details, and listening to and looking at the personalities up close and personal of 7 different people. That's a job. And Candace, you could write a book.
Please don't.
Please don't.
The prior two clerks and I are going to get together, and it's going to be the clerks of Cumberland County.
Well,
Anyone else? Commissioner Evans.
well, Miss White, speaking of personalities, you dealt with this personality here.
We all do.
It's always one. But we've had the privilege of working together with the city as well as with the county. Excuse me. And you know what? I have been very fortunate to have shared that opportunity with you. You have always been there as a person that took care of business. You did not play when it comes to the city or the county business. It was strictly business for you. And regardless of how you feel about a person individually, you love them to death, but when it comes to you getting the job done and being proficient at it, that was you. And I have a lot of respect for you on that, because I tried you a couple of times. And it was like, and I didn't win. And I'm saying that is because I appreciate your friendship. There are a couple of times that we've had some nice conversations. We have nice conversations all the time, but, you know, we just talked. And I appreciate that from you. I appreciate everything that you've done and that you do to make each one of us responsible for being responsible to the citizens that we serve in a very proper and respectful way. I hope that made sense to you, because you go above and beyond. And I recognize that, and I'm very grateful for that, because there was a lot of times that, you know, I needed that extra attention, and you were right there willing to give it to make sure that I was correct in doing what you don't want to see none of us go wrong in doing our jobs. And so you made it your business to make sure that we was on top of everything. Thank you. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you, and I hope you enjoy your retirement, because it's well deserved. And your family, you get to be with your daughter, who you love so much, and I'm sure she loves you as well. So I just wish you the extreme best on your upcoming retirement. Thank you for everything.
Commissioner Stewart.
I'll be shorter than Commissioner Evans.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Candace, I just want to publicly say thank you as the newest commissioner here, transitioning onto the board. You made the process easier. Your knowledge and your wisdom and your caring went so far. And, you know, we all have these ideas of what we're going to do when we get elected and all of that, and we don't have a clue. And then our beautiful family here, like they said, all these different personalities and things of that nature, you made it easy for me. And for that, I say thank you. I always love talking to you. I always know and knew that you would be available. Our conversations where it's just like, yeah, where we don't have to say anything, that you know, women's intuition that we have. I appreciate that. So thank you for making this process easier for me. And I am going to miss you as well.
And with that, I will tell you that everybody sits and watches us do our meetings. It makes it easier when the clerk's already laid it all out for us. So I know that everybody understands that. I'll give you a moment to, I know you don't want to be in the limelight. You know, one of the things that I will say is that as the clerk, you never tried to take over, but you did have that little stern hand when you said, Mr. Chairman. I do know that. So if you just want a couple of anything.
Well, before she started, let me say that. I gotta say this. You know what? You are one classy lady.
Absolutely.
You are one classy lady.
A beautiful dresser.
Oh, Lord, yes. I tell you, I mean, all that go into play to make it of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to say that because you something else now. Okay.
Well, I'm blushing. I thank you all for your very kind comments. That's touched my heart. It has absolutely been my privilege to serve my community and this local elected body, in addition to other local elected bodies. But I just appreciate all of you. I wish you all the best moving forward as you carry this county forward. There'll be a lot of changes with personnel, but they will all be here to support you and this community. And I think a good future lies ahead for all. So I say thank you again.
Thank you. So, Commissioner Keefe, you were in our meeting last week, so we're going to do this because you said you wanted to hear it at least one last time, so we're going to have it right here. So if I can get a motion that we will miss our clerk, Ms. Candace White. If I can get a motion. If I can get a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Unanimous.
That was cute.
With that, we will recess the Board of Commissioners meeting and go to conference room 564, where we will reconvene. So we will be in recess. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
We'll reconvene the regular Board of Commissioners meeting. If I can get a motion and a second to go into closed session for economic development matter pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A4, real property acquisition pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A5, and attorney-client matter pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3.
That's exactly my motion.
Well, you got the second.
I got the second.
It's moved by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Council. All those in favor? All right. We will now go into closed session. if I can get a motion to come out of closed session.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we come out of closed session. All those in favor? And just before we close out, it is Operation Greenlight, and we have two veterans on our board, Commissioner Keith and Commissioner Evans. So you will see that our buildings will be lit up. They did a test run. It works. It's what they tell me. So tonight we're going to go out and flip the switch at about dark, and you will see that we are a part of Operation Greenlight for the entire nation. Thanking our veterans for what they've done. Thank you, Commissioner Keith. Thank you, Commissioner Evans, for your service. My wife, Judge Gail Adams, was in the United States Navy. Thank her for her service. So Operation Greenlight, y'all just ride by the building and look at it at least. And any other citizens who are out there, I ask you to come by and see that this is a board that values our veterans. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor?